Welcome to Taper Talks. In our welcoming corner of the digital world, we delve into the often misunderstood and challenging journey of tapering off prescribed medications. Here, we reveal stories of prescribed harm shared by those who have experienced it firsthand. Each episode is a step toward healing, understanding, and empowerment. We also share invaluable tips, information, and resources to help you become more informed. Each episode concludes with a calming practice to soothe your nervous system, which can help reduce symptoms. Whether you're supporting a friend, exploring a wellness journey, or finding your own path, the most important thing to hold on to is hope. Remember, no one can take this journey for you, but someone who has been down the path can take it with you. You are not alone. So let's step onto the path together, one episode at a time. For over 20 years, Jasmine Norcross, a holistic health practitioner, has empowered her clients to achieve better health and wellness by embracing the innate wisdom of their bodies. Drawing from a harmonious blend of Western and Eastern medicine, Jasmine has successfully established clinics in both California and Colorado. Her core philosophy centers on the body's natural ability to heal itself and offer profound insights for optimal health. What sets Jasmine apart is her attentive and intuitive approach to listening. She focuses not only on your words, but also on the signals your body conveys on physical, emotional, and energetic levels. Symptoms that may seem unrelated often carry deeper wisdom and solutions waiting to be uncovered. With expertise across multiple healing disciplines and a commitment to providing unhurried, personalized care, Jasmine's approach can be transformative for both your immediate and long-term health. Jasmine offers individual sessions either in person or through telehealth, accessible from anywhere. These sessions can range from quick tune-ups to more comprehensive reviews tailored to your unique needs. Welcome to Taper Talks, Jasmine, and thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So let's just jump right in and talk about the nervous system because that's really sort of the subject that we want to cover today. And I wanted to ask you briefly to share with us, why is the nervous system regulation a key part of overall wellness?
Well, when we have a dysregulated nervous system, we're going to be coming from a place of a lot of angst and unease and really setting off a cascade of other responses in the body because our baseline is just off that foundation. So it's really difficult, if not impossible, to create and bring about the type of restoration that we need to give the body space to heal and be well. And also just pretty difficult to get the whole adrenals leveled out when we've got this really dysregulated nervous system, so that we can be in a place of bringing about some healing. So it is absolutely a cornerstone of it. This is true.
Great, thank you. And
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you too, if you've worked with any clients that, because this is focused on people who are thinking of, or in the midst of, or after they've come off of brain dependency causing drugs. And so have you worked with any clients that have gone through that experience? And what was your takeaway there?
Yes, I have. I've worked on. I've been able to work with clients who have had you know, uh, prescription drug dependency on things like Suboxone that they've been on for many years, sometimes decades, and coming off of something like that, and really just getting to kind of put one foot in front of the other and figure out the general lay of the land can be pretty scary and intimidating for that type of situation, but also alcohol dependency. definitely can create some major nervous system upsets with even things like GABA, right? Things that need some support. And then, also in my practice, I work a lot with people who have nervous system upset just due to trauma they've experienced. Could just be overwhelm and burnout from what they're going through, and honestly, even like latent viral loads and other pathogens that can be in the body can certainly also create some issues with the nervous system. So to answer your question, yes, I've worked on that. And what I think is so helpful is that when you begin to know that you can work with your own nervous system and that you have these tools and resources available, I think that's pretty empowering because suddenly it gives some of the ability and control back to the person that may be in a seemingly hopeless or out of control situation, feeling kind of overpowered by maybe the medical community or their prescription, drug side effects or whatever. And so I think being able to get some tools and some just knowing that there are things that you can do to bring your nervous system back to a place of balance. And seeing people do that, I think, certainly gives them more of a foundation to feel that they have some control and empowerment over their journey to feeling better.
Well, we all need to be more empowered for sure, and to really to be able to understand our nervous systems better and how to regulate. So, that being said, will you share with us some self-care tips, some at-home
Yeah.
nervous system reset tools that you use in your practice?
Yes, I would love to. Yes. Yeah. So one of I work a lot with traditional Chinese medicine as well. So the different meridians and organs and kind of using all that as part of a way that we can access the body's circuitry, kind of tap into that circuit board a little bit. And so one of the things is that in Chinese medicine, we have along our kidney meridian what are known as the brain buttons. And that is K27's kidney 27 points. And to find those, you just go to those little knobs that are on your collarbone, kind of either side of the collarbone there. And we have those little raised knobs. And those really are known as the brain buttons. So, just a nice thing to know. You go up there and kind of give a little light tissue traction or a little attention up there. You're kind of stimulating the brain. So, always good if you need a little recall, or maybe you're going to need to be, present a little more. However, just doing some alternate bilateral tapping there on those acupoints is a really nice way to create some neurological organization. And so, just kind of lightly, boom, 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 right, left, right, left, right, left. As we're doing that, we're encouraging both sides of the hemispheres to balance a bit. And that's really a great access point for the brain for when we're having brain fog, anxiety, things where we just need to kind of quickly pull ourselves in and be present. A little tapping there at K27s is a great thing. And with all these things I'm going to tell you, be intentional about it. It's a practice. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, but even for a couple minutes, allow yourself to place your feet firmly on the floor. Feel the presence of that. Connect with your breath for a moment. And then a little alternate tapping there. So it's like, yeah, for a moment, I'm just going to be present with this idea of kind of organizing the hemispheres of my brain, organizing left, right side. And so that's a great way to do a little K27 brain button regulation. And with that, we can work with the breath. So, yes, the breath. Breath is wonderful for the nervous system. I'll tell you again and again, it's just that we forget to do it. We just forget how important the breath is. So, for breath actually is enough to begin to change the physiology in the body. So, we can get ourselves out of a fight or flight, panic cascade, anxiety cascade by using the breath. And knowing that accessing 4 breaths will begin to change that body's physiology is pretty powerful. And so sometimes it seems the breath is almost racing away from us, or we just can hardly catch it, right? And in those times where we're kind of in an acute, more panic place, sometimes we just want to try and get a rhythmic breath. And maybe it's, 2, 2, 2. If I'm talking inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And then we might even begin to kind of box breath. You might have seen where we kind of think about, these even, going up for the count of 4, kind of across the count of 4. We're doing these kind of more rhythmic things, but all sort of staying with the same. So everybody's got different lung capacity, and you certainly don't want to push yourself. But when we're in acute, one thing to just think about is, let me try and get the breath to be, even in, even out is a good place to start. And then as you work with that a little bit more, when we show the body we have a longer exhale than inhale, it's a little hack that we're showing the body, "Whew, okay, now I'm beginning to relax." And so if we even think about, okay, I'm going to breathe in now for 2, I'm going to exhale for 3, and maybe there's more. Maybe I'm going to breathe in for 4, and I'm going to exhale now for 6. By showing the nervous system and the body just that longer exhale, it's a way to begin to uh, get into that parasympathetic and start showing that restoration and healing to the nervous system. So, just kind of some easy things to do as you're maybe tapping there on your K27s, maybe you're acknowledging your feet are there on the floor and you're just thinking about, let me breathe in and then give more emphasis on the exhale to show the nervous system that I'm relaxed, that I'm resetting. Another thing, so kind of with those two in mind, so a huge part of what I work with is sort of emotional regulation and, helping also the nervous system not shut down to perceive stress or emotional upset. And we've all got it. And we've all got it daily. So, again, when we're talking about helping a new nervous system or repairing a nervous system, one of the signs of this nervous system dysregulation can be a very short fuse or a small cushion around stress, can be sad, can be hopeless, can be very scared, right? There's lots of different things. And not to minimize getting help from a professional, of course, to deal with those things, but also, tools that you can use in the moment are, again, using that concept of 4 breaths. Because what happens, we get stressed, we have this uncomfortable emotion, and we don't want to feel it. We don't want to feel it. We want to try and kind of push it away. And really, we stop breathing. Cortisol starts going up, 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 right? And we kind of start packing things away because we don't have time for those. And I understand we can't always deal with emotions the moment they come up for us, but tending to the emotional body, on a regular basis, daily, if not certainly making time for yourself to tune in at least a few times a week and just see what's going on. What is going on? How am I feeling? And sometimes we don't even know completely the answer to that question, but just by placing a hand over our heart and a hand over the belly and connecting with that breath again. So the deep rhythmic breath is going to tell the nervous system, guess what? We get a chance to relax a little bit here. We get a chance to soften a little bit here, and maybe there's some things that are there, maybe we're nervous about this, or maybe we've really been sad or angry or whatever. And so I think, no matter what, the emotional body needs that attention from a place of non-judgment, not having to fix something, not something's wrong with me, why do I do this and why am I acting this way? But showing up for yourself in that moment with radical compassion of, wow, I'm really afraid of this thing. or this has really got me upset. And I'm telling you, this doesn't have to be a giant practice. Connecting with that breath and using the breath, 4 breaths, as you offer yourself just the acknowledgement and some compassion is really enough to kind of help control alt delete in a sense. So the nervous system isn't just going, shut down because this is happening. It creates a space where maybe, we can do a little bit of healthy processing, or at least let our nervous system begin to relax enough so that we can unpack this later on when we have a little more bandwidth, right?
Well, I'm just practicing these tips that you're offering now. And even though I do this myself in my own practice, it's a really good reminder. And as I'm tapping those kidney points there and doing some deep breathing, as my nervous system is relaxing. So I think
Yeah.
that's very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. And kind of still that same thing of, the more you do it, thinking about just being as present as you can, and we can be present anywhere we need to be. We can be present in our car, between point A and point B. We can, quickly be present when we get a moment to ourselves to change in the morning or something. But as many ways as you can be, the grounding practice of feeling your feet on the earth, and even with nature, being more mindful about trying to get outside and get outdoors, and let the frequencies of the earth really kind of help do some real grounding for the nervous system. But you can also do some nice grounding things manually, just by kind of firm pressure on the top of the thighs. Kind of just, and sometimes maybe intuitively, you ever notice you do that a little bit, kind of a rocking, or uh, good pressure, just to kind of remind the body, wow, I'm here. I can feel myself. I feel my body. I can feel my tissues, and I'm aware and present in this body now. Again, I know these things sound kind of simple, but man, can you imagine if we all just started applying this?
It's powerful, though.
it,
Yeah,
it
simple
is
but
so
powerful.
powerful. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, there's also, I think, like anything that can give you some good firm pressure, depending on where you're at. Sometimes we need more soothing. And I think it cannot be underestimated how important it is to kind of create a space in your home that is sort of a nest, or like a sanctuary where the nervous system knows this is a place I go to restore and heal. It's like a Huga corner or whatever you want, but be intentional about that. Maybe you have a weighted blanket there. It's soft candles. It's in a. You've got your tea. It can be a place where you're able to be intentional about offering yourself the space to now breathe, to decompress, and giving a little reverence for it. This it's that important to me that I set that space up for myself.
Perfect. Do you have some more suggestions for us? Because I'm really enjoying what you're offering here.
Okay, nice. Well, yeah. Sure. So another thing, we have these little knobs on, also on our, like, our forehead. So they're called neuro emotional prominences. So we have kind of these little tiny, uh, I don't want to say knobs. We don't all have a knobby forehead, but you know what I'm saying. We have kind of these prominences on our forehead that are used for neuro emotional processing. And so that too, and I think, again, people kind of intuitively, when we're stressed, when we're overwhelmed, a lot of times we'll begin to kind of grab our forehead, even massage those points on our forehead, right? Because it's a place that you can, again, help the body begin to process stress and relax the nervous system. So I like paying a little extra attention to that. Maybe even with some essential oils, so frankincense, some lavender, even a little rosemary, maybe in like a little fractionated coconut oil, and kind of like applying that to your forehead, kind of on those points, and just letting yourself, really relax, do some deep breathing, maybe do a little gentle kind of tissue pull and tissue traction on those little prominences on your forehead. Really good also, just to kind of help soothe the nervous system, soothe the emotional body.
So those prominences I'm feeling from my forehead now, they're kind of, at least on me, they're probably different for everybody maybe, but they're kind of mid forehead towards the top in and just almost like little bumps. I think that's
Yeah.
how you describe them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
Okay.
right. So, then you get all these different little things that you can plug in that you need to, and maybe they don't all resonate with you, but maybe some really do. And that's the
Mhm.
thing, because, we're all different and our journeys are all different, and we have to find what feels good to us. So, but maybe you just say, "Oh yeah, I'm into the just focusing on a longer exhale. I'm gonna do it every time I'm, driving to work in the morning. I'm just gonna focus on a longer exhale than inhale."
Mm.
Or, yeah, I'm gonna work on kind of making that cozy little nest. And when I come home from work, instead of slamming into this, or before I get about my day in the morning, when I set my intentions, I kind of slowly start there with, being aware of that emotional body, and just focusing on the breath and my feet on the earth, and a lot of gratitude for the space you've created for yourself. And just maybe picking one or two simple kind of reset techniques to try and incorporate at first. I think what most people will find is you're pleasantly surprised how just connecting with the breath, suddenly you go, I feel differently.
Well, those are wonderful tips, Jasmine, and I thank you for sharing them.
Oh my God.
If
Yeah, I'm so happy
you
to.
okay, thank you. So, another question for you then is what type of you've already kind of talked a little bit about some of these tips, and you probably use them in your practice as well, sharing them with your clients. But just briefly, what type of services or modalities do you provide to support the nervous system when you're working directly with someone, generally speaking? And then how can our listeners work with you? And do you provide services online?
Nice. Yes. Yeah, so I do work with people in person here in Western Colorado. I also absolutely do telehealth and work with people from a distance. And so, a little bit different in person. We have, tuning forks, and I'm also a certified massage therapist, and different ways we can kind of do somatic practices to help the body relax and unwind. And I also do a lot of muscle testing. I like to kind of check in with the nervous system and see where we could bring about the most balance. But I can also do a lot of that from a distance over the phone. And what's nice then is it's maybe a little bit more specific about what's going on with you. However, one thing is always the same with me is like making sure that people have tools so that they can feel empowered to be their own advocate for wellness out there. So, as much as I can share that with people, I certainly make that top of mind. So, that's why I'm happy I got to do this today.
Okay. All right. Well, how if listeners would like to work with you or know more about your practice
Oh,
and what
sure.
you offer, how would they contact you or
Yeah, you
find out
can
more about
find
you?
find me on my website, which is my name, jasminenorcross.com. You could follow me on Instagram. That's jasmine.norcross, and Facebook, Jasmine Norcross Holistic Health Practitioner. So, a couple different ways to check me out on social media, or certainly learn more about my practice. And I put a lot of resources, blogs, and things like that up on my website as well. So, maybe some useful information there.
Okay, great. And I will have that your website link in specifically and your other social media links in the show notes so people don't have to feel like they have to write them down right now. They can just go to those show notes and pick them out from there. So, Jasmine, thank you so much for being
Yeah,
here
wow.
today and sharing your wisdom and guiding us toward more balance in our lives. I look forward to maybe continuing our conversation at some point in the future. I hope you'll come back.
Sounds great to me, Jody. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
As I continue on my healing journey, I'm focused on supporting those harmed by prescribed drugs. So I created my Drug Taper Journey, a series of 3 tapering journal support workbooks available on Amazon to aid others on this difficult path. These books include therapeutic activities, valuable resources, personal progress referencing, and symptom pattern detection to manage a protocol and create a record for yourself or your healthcare team. When asked why I started this podcast, the motivation for me can be summed into these fundamental reasons. Helping people. This is one of my core values, and for the past 2 decades, I've been deeply committed to sharing the transformative power of yoga. Yoga is far more than just stretching. It's a practice that encompasses self-awareness, mindfulness, breath control, meditation, body awareness, self-study, and much more. Personally, yoga has played a pivotal role in helping me recover and heal my nervous system. This connection is why I include a calming practice at the end of each episode. My goal is to help listeners feel the benefits of a balanced nervous system and use simple tools in their everyday lives. Another reason stems from my personal journey of healing, a path from rage to recovery. I've faced intense anger because of the experiences that deeply affected both myself and others, and I needed an outlet to transform that anger into something constructive and healing. So, encouraged by my daughter's suggestion, I turned to podcasting as a way to share my story, share information and resources, connect with others who face similar challenges, and create a space for meaningful, open discussions about recovery and resilience. I hope to inspire and empower listeners as they navigate their own journeys toward healing. In our current stressful, rushed culture, we're often caught up in planning or worrying about the future or ruminating about the past. As a result, we often miss out on what's going on in the only moment that's actually available to us, the present moment. Mindfulness is an ancient practice that helps us learn to be present for our lives. Mindfulness is the name for the awareness that arises from paying attention on purpose in a gentle and welcoming way, moment by moment. One of the most basic mindfulness practices is observing the breath. Mindful awareness of breath invites us to simply pay attention, mindfully, to our breath without trying to change, control, or manipulate it. To begin the practice of mindful awareness of the breath, lie down or sit comfortably, or if necessary, you can practice while standing. Turn your attention to your breath, observing the movement of the air going into and out of your body. Without judging, labeling good or bad, or trying to change your breath in any way, notice the sensations associated with your breathing. Perhaps you can feel the coolness of the air as it enters your nostrils and the warmth as the air exits. Perhaps You feel your breath more through one nostril than the other. What places or spaces in your body move with your breath? Is your breath deep and slow, short and choppy? Just noticing. If your thoughts begin to wander off to the past or the future, or otherwise drift away from your breath, just notice this without judgment. Notice that your mind is chattering now, and then bring your focus back to your breath again. You may need to do this over and over again, and that is the practice. Thank you for listening all the way to the end of this episode. If you have a story to share, topics you'd like to see covered, or information to provide, please reach out to me at tapertalks@gmail.com. May we be at peace in our hearts, may we be at peace in our homes, and may we be at peace with one another. Remember, you're not alone, not now, not ever. Don't give up.